when the shit hits the fan, it hits. There's a lot to be learned from all the scandals that are going on in psychology and psychiatry and healthcare. So I will tell you what I know as a psychotherapist and a coach and as a psychologist. Listen, I've got my own edges, so I'll tell you a bit about me as well as we go, because I'm also a client and a patient. I have a psychiatrist, I have a doctor, I have a therapist, I have just about everything I can think of having, so that I can navigate this life, because it's not flipping easy. So I'm for you and transparency. Ask questions as I go through this series, please, and I mean that. And if there's anything to be had from scrutinising healthcare, I appreciate it's not ideal that when you're feeling vulnerable and you're looking for someone to help you with your health and your mind, is to need to go, hang on, apart from my own fears about honesty and transparency, you and me, now do I have to have a thought in mind that this person could be abusive or not even trained and so on? If we look at the silver lining, what I would say is the best training we can have for health, in my opinion, because the physical body and the mental health, you can't separate the two things. They work together. Is to be able to ask the difficult questions. So in many ways, patients and clients and families now, you're in at the deep end. In one way of looking at it, with all of these scandals, is, okay, you get to really push back and ask questions to have your back. And again, it would be lovely if we could just go around life assuming that everybody's doing the right thing. We're not, we've all got our edges. So whatever you think about me, because I'm obviously a human and colourful myself, and a fair bit of scandal around me as well, because I've got this mouth. And freedom of speech is not a thing in healthcare. So I work for myself with my own ethical policies and so on. So I'll be very transparent about how to look into my stuff. However, it's there to support you with the difficult questions. So what I would say you get to do is, in any of my videos, I'll do my best to look at all comments, is ask the difficult questions. You can push and challenge me. I'll do my absolute best not to get my arse in my hand and be all egoic about it, because this is not personal about me. This is about healthcare and about safety and so on. So I'll tell you some of the things I ask when I'm looking for a new someone. And I'm very particular, because if one thing I know is, in any field, you're going to get very brilliant people who are good at what they do, who are legitimate and who have their trainings and so on. And any shade of anything else. What was my point? The mind, when you're dealing with emotion and, mental health, that's a very big privilege for a clinician or someone to be with you through that. And total transparency, not that we're not finding it out very obviously, there's a lot of really dangerous people. And I've been on the receiving end of them. And equally, my therapist said to me recently, so you take what you want and leave what you don't. I'll do my best. Ask the questions. I will answer. And, use me as a testing ground, really. I'm not gonna... You got my word. I'll do my best to give you the information. And if I don't know, I'll point you in the right direction. About who to trust, why, how, what to look for, and so on. However, people are good in the feed. What I encourage any of you to do is, if you think I'm being funny, then challenge me. I'll take it. If you're cruel, then I'll block you. After 3 strikes and you're out. That's the rule I have. Because, we can all get upset and triggered and so on. The triggers are the guides. And then hang around, ask the questions, be open to answers, different answers. However, if you show that, your feet are stuck like concrete and you just want to have a go, then I don't need that, and other people don't need that. So I ask for you to be straight and direct and push back and ask what you need to know. However, if it's kind of you're bad constantly stuff, then what I do know is that's projection. That's something you identify as. Because whatever you see in me or anybody else is in you, We're all the same. That's why we get all bent out of shape when we see things that really trigger and activate us is it's a fear signal of, I don't want to be around that, I don't want that to rub off on me, I don't want to be bad. None of us are bad. We do bad things, and that's my point with this series, is let's talk into it and make sure that you feel safe, as best as I can support you to feel safe, about using healthcare. I can only speak really for psychotherapy, psychiatry, mental health, coaching and psychology, and I don't know everything, obviously. However, I have trained and worked for 30 years globally with all different kinds of issues, from mental health issues, severe and enduring hospitalizations and so on, to peak performance with the super successful and kids and all the things. So ask me all the questions, I'll tell you what I know. We'll keep going until we answer everything. And I'll give you all of my details. Academy for Self-Mastery Ltd is my company. Sorry, now I'm in traffic, totally unhelpful. And then you can have a look at everything and keep asking questions. Why not? That could be fun. Use me to freak out as much as you like. Just let's be respectful. You could use me as a testing, brain. Who are you? Why should we trust you? Why do you charge that? What degrees do you have? Do you have any? Yada yada. Yes, I do. And so on. Why not? It could be fun. An exercise in talking straight. And equally, if you'd like to know more about boundaries and how to talk straight and the words to use and so on, from my perspective, Thrive Boundaries Mastery, if you go to the top here in the bio, is a program on all of that. It's got great reviews. It was £300, nearly £300 recently, and I thought, no, we all get to know about boundaries, what's okay and what's not, and the fact that boundaries aren't about other people, they're about us. So take it with my love. You get to nominate your fee, pay what you feel you are worth, and we'll go from there. See you soon.